Dr. Gemelli. It's Thursday. I don't know. This week has been kind of long, actually. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for your latest insights and your fight or flight responses. I think the stories you told were great. And I really appreciate, again, just your openness and your willingness to share, pretty intimate details about your life and some of the things and emotions that can oftentimes be uncomfortable to talk about. A lot of you mentioned fear, and anxiety was definitely the one that came up the most. Other emotions that came forth in terms of how we manage our fight or flight responses. And I thought, some of your insights were really helpful for me too. Like, oh, I can relate to that. I think it was Evan who said something about relying upon just routine and patterns and kind of past ways of dealing with situations, and very much relate to that. Sometimes we just, as I think, and someone replied about the autopilot response, not really thinking about the uniqueness of the situation or putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes in terms of empathy or feeling for them, but just kind of automatically going on our own and how we feel. And then again, how that can interfere with our empathy for others. So those were really the strong assignments where you could relate that back to any of those kind of feelings of empathy and how that might have interfered with that ability. But again, just appreciate again the way you were able to talk about it. And someone else mentioned too about when you tell these stories to others or even just there's two ways of looking at it, but there's a vulnerability to that. So many of you are doing that and overcoming that vulnerability. But then it also came out, I felt like, somebody else's, that sometimes receiving care. So, some of us, we mentioned, we feel like, oh, we kind of have to be emotional rocks and do things on our own. And when we do that, we're kind of not letting other people in to help us, because that shows your vulnerability in some ways. And so I think someone had mentioned that that takes some kind of getting over, really, to allow that to happen and for other people to comfort you and listen to you and sing. And then, getting empathy for yourself, right? So that moves us into this week when we're doing the mindfulness exercises. So hopefully there's this kind of momentum here building that you can see happening, where you're identifying some of these issues that you have, fear, worry, anxiety, and how you respond, fight or flight, and then, how you can cope and how you can manage. And a lot of your partners had already mentioned some of these mindfulness exercises that you can do in terms of breathing and calming and things like that. So this whole section about nurturing empathy is not only nurturing empathy for others, but also for yourself. So just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate your responses, and to keep up the good work. Thank you.